How's it going, everybody? It's Daikin here bringing you another Guilty Gear Strive video, and today we're going to be talking about what makes Sol a strong character and how to deal with some of his tools. As always, before we begin, gotta do the YouTube stuff. The goal is 250 subscribers by the end of the month. That is the goal I set for myself, and the only way to reach my goal if you guys help me out. So support your boy, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications on so you know the next video goes live. Now, if you have been playing this game, you have probably already seen how nuts and crazy Sol of a character can be. This character does absolutely insane damage, have very good buttons, good special moves, and good frame data. Let's talk about some of the noticeable things that you're going to be seeing with this character. Going over some noticeable normals real quick. His close slash, this is going to be +3, very strong normal. His far slash, advancing mid, this is very strong tool. It is actually going to be plus on block 2. This is going to be +2. His 6X is very good. This button actually beats 6Ps because it actually hits below the knees. So 6Ps actually lowers your hurt box towards your knees, and this actually beats that. And I don't think this button has a hurt box once the sword is actually out. So very strong button there too. His 5K is going to be a 3-frame anti-air, very low commit, very high damage if it hits, and it is run cancelable. He can run cancel this move, and of course he can run cancel his close slash as well. His jump H has famously been like 0 recovery. I think it's probably the same in this game. It doesn't have too much. It is a double hitting overhead. It is very fast. He could do it while rising and then come down with it as well, and it still hits. It's very insane how you could do it like this and still get hits with it. But very good button for sure. Talking about special moves real quick, gun flame, nothing really to talk about here. Is advancing moving projectile, very good. On counter hit leads to some massive combos, especially if it hits in the right type of way. So very strong projectile for sure. It is unsafe, but it is pretty safe at most distances that Sols pretty much do it at. Now we're going to talk about the Bandit Revolver. Bandit Revolver is going to be unsafe on block, but it is very good for an escape tool. So if he's in the corner, he can use it as an escape tool like this. In combos is one of his best enders, and in block streams they like to do stuff like this, where they go for a low and or you go for overhead, really fast stuff that they could do off the fast RC. So you have to be very careful about that. Talking about Bandit Bringer, this is pretty good because it stalls him in the air. He can do it like fast, or he can actually hold it, and it's like -1 if he charges it. It is, I believe it's an overhead. Yeah, she is blocking, so yeah, it is an overhead. So you have to watch out for this, and it's like -1, but because no one has like a 3-frame normal like him, then he essentially can make it plus. Only other character got like a 3-frame normal is like Chip. So a lot of characters pretty much gotta like sort of hold this, or like, you know, play in like a crazy RPS game off something that's minus just because he has this button right here. So very strong tool in comparison with his other tools. And of course, Vortex. Vortex goes under mad normals. It goes under special moves. Not all special moves, but like projectiles. And most projectiles don't go under his own projectile, but like all the other projectiles, including like Leo's giant shield, will go under it. Go under like mid normals and stuff. Is a very good button, and if he hits with it, he gets a full combo off non-counter hit. Now to talk about the last thing, his DP. His DP is very good. SDP, very fast. I know you've probably seen people do SDP and SDP just because how fast it is. They don't want to get punished, so they just unsafe into more unsafe. His heavy DP actually has a clean hit property on it. So we take melee off block here. Is one of the only DPs that has the ability to hard knock down off non-counter hit if he gets his clean hit. So as you see, it sort of like stalls him in the air. If he doesn't get it, it doesn't stall him in the air, like right there. But it stalls in the air, you see it, and then you get a hard knockdown. You got a chance to run up and do his pressure and stuff like that. So very, very strong DP. And this clean hit property can actually be utilized in the air. So he gets massive damage off raw DPs, like in the corner. Like he could do some massive damage. I don't know if I can. Oh, there we go. And then he gets a full knockdown off of it. It's extremely good tool for him. But let's talk about some of these things you can actually start trying to beat. So now that we talked about what tools actually make Sol so strong, I want to talk about specific scenarios that are going to come up when he's actually pressuring you and how to deal with these actual scenarios. So I want to talk about the actual mindset that may happen and why Sols do the certain things they do. Then we're going to talk about some game plans that you can utilize to try to get out of it. So first, starting off with far slash spam. A lot of people mean this, you know, +2 advancing mid. Just doing it over and over. But what a lot of people don't know is it's +2, but the move is actually like 10 frame startup. So there actually is a gap. So you can press a button between it as such. Now everybody reward is going to be different. So Millia does 2K2D. This will give her Disc Oki mixed up. So basically Millia get a chance to win the game, which is why I think the matchup isn't actually that bad for her. But yeah, to see what your character can do in that situation. But then once Sol realized, okay, you're going to try to challenge them like that, they have other options they could utilize, which is going to be something like this. And you're going to get counter hit by Heavy Slash, and this button will deal massive damage, especially in the corner once they start doing like optimal combos. This is a very scary situation. So now you establish that you're going to mash. Now he's going to delay into this button and counter hit you. So it's like, okay, now you are scared of mashing because he just did that. He took 60% of your life. Now you're scared. So now the Soul is like, I got you right where I want you, and he's going to start doing this. Right into grab. Because now you're scared to press a button, and he's going to establish the poke throw game. And it's like, okay, now that you're scared of getting grabbed, you're going to probably hold up, right? Well, the Soul is probably doing purple throw OS. So they are doing throw into the RC, and because you made it whiff, then they won't get any animation, and they can just go up and pursue you. So very strong tool that they could do right there. So now they establish this, and it just resets over and over again. So now you're scared to jump. Now they can do the far slash pressure again, and then you mash, and it's just a snowball effect of all these options you have to worry about. On top of a Soul just actually doing a full-on block string like this. You have to deal with this, and then of course it's hard for you to get out because once again Soul has like this button, and like, you know, you're scared of this. He got pretty good things to stop you from like moving and stuff like that, even though you're at that certain range where it should be your turn and stuff like that. So he can try to contest you in like those type of answers. So what can you do about these scenarios? So we talked about the far slash and how to actually get a punish on them just doing far slash. But what about this scenario right here? This is a very strong scenario, especially if they're running, because they're running, then this gun flame you can't jump out of. You will get hit for trying to jump out of it. But what you can do, and we talked about how faultless defensing isn't good, but it's something you still need to utilize because it can create situations where you can get out. So if they are trying to do something like this, always remember, if you do happen to FD, if you FD this, the gun flame won't be real and you got a chance to jump out. So it won't guarantee that you're going to get out of the corner, but you don't have to block the gun flame, and this could potentially give you a good situation. Now, when you do this, you have to be wary, obviously, of your opponent's meter, because they have meter and they want to spend it. Then they could come back in with the gun flame YRC, and you have to deal with this, and they see you in the air, then they're going to try to pursue you. So be wary of like using this option when your opponent has meter. But if you realize they don't have meter, then this could be a situation to try to help you get out of that situation. But if you're too scared to do that and you don't have enough meter, or you don't want to spin your meter, and the Soul is already established in a throw game, how do you deal with that? So we talked about it before, and there's going to be a couple of advanced techniques that I'm going to be talking about, which is one going to be fuzzy jump. So going from back to up to down back again is a very strong technique. It's inside of the mission mode, so I suggest you look in the mission mode and actually practice it doing within the mission mode. It would definitely help you out when dealing with things like this. And you know, there's plenty of tutorials on actually how to do fuzzy jump, but it's something you definitely need to utilize. The other thing I'm going to talk about is the actual OS that we talked about the other day. So the OS for barrier throw OS is going to be 2 buttons plus the dust button. Now when you have your burst, it will use your burst if you have burst. So if you have burst, it will use burst. It will use the burst if you try to throw before the throw actually touches you. So you want to make sure the throw is actually touching you before you actually do it, and then you won't get your burst. But if your burst is already going there in the situation, then it actually becomes a bit better. And this will allow you to do the actual FD OS. So let me show you when I have my burst off. So now that I have my burst off, this is what it looks like when you actually do it. So I'm pressing 2 buttons plus the dust button, and you essentially should get this right here. If I get a throw, that means I'm messing it up. So it should essentially always be like this. You just want the barrier to happen. And if he happens to try to throw me, I can check the throw. Just like that. So this can also help you for the other situation. You could actually do this in the air too. So if you're scared of him actually throwing you or pressing a button in the air, it will help you versus this. So show that scenario. Just like that. So once again, I'm doing this in the air, and it's allowing me to take the throw. I'm doing a barrier, and on the ground I'm doing the same thing. So this allows you to like basically escape souls doing this, and then when they grab, you'll be ready for it, because you're not going to be getting a throw whiff animation, and it allows you to actually get ready for it. So you want to do this OS when you expect your opponent to actually try to throw you. It will help you during that scenario, but you want to be careful because you are standing, so they can hit you low. And then once again, Sol does get pretty good damage off low attack, so you want to make sure you aren't standing on Sol, because his damage is pretty good. Now, last sequence I really want to talk about is when Sols actually just do a full block string into Gunflame like this. This is a very good thing. It is pretty hard for you to do anything about it, but there are some things you can do. So one of the things you want to know when it comes to this block string is, if you want to FD, the most important thing to FD in this block string, in my opinion, is his far slash, because this pushes him out pretty far. So it pushes him out far enough to where you actually can jump out, as you can see. So if they close slash, you want to pretty much try to FD the next button like this, and if they do the old block string, you could potentially get out. But not only can you get out, with enough practice you can actually get a punish. Now this is once again another advanced technique, but we're going to be using the slowdown of the drift blue RC to punish his recovery with our meter. So this is something that's going to take meter to get a punish, but you get a pretty damaging punish depending on how you do it. So see what your character can do. I'm going to show you what Milia can do. As you can see, a pretty good combo. I can actually stay in the corner too and get the wall break if I so choose. So I got a couple of options that I could do from that punish. So I am using the micro dash button to actually do the drift RC. So I'm just jumping, pressing the button and doing RC, and this allows me to actually get that. I like to double tap it to make sure I don't miss it, so I do something like that to make sure I don't miss it. But you get the gist of how it actually works. So once again, pretty advanced technique, but it can get you out of the situation of Gunflame and make Sols think twice about doing that option when you actually got 50 meter yourself. The last thing I want to talk about is two neutral interactions that may occur. So a lot of Sols, or not all Sols, but some Sols like to do Bandit Bringer in neutral, right? It's a very annoying tool. It's very hard to anti-air like consistently. Like usually you'll get like weird trades with it like that, trying to anti-air and stuff. So to make this situation a little bit easier for yourself, like I said, it is pretty hard to like sort of punish in some sense. It's when you block it because of it being -1 and he has the 3-frame normal, but also it just has fast recovery. But there is a way to like try to reliably punish that, and that's through like a backdash with your situation awareness. So if you see him in the air like this, try to backdash and see what normal you can press to guarantee that you get something, rather than trying to like punish it with like a 6-piece. See if you can avoid the situation and punish the actual landing recovery, because there is some, it's just not much, so you can punish it. So see what your character could do in that type of situation. Another quick scenario that I want to talk about is his 6S. So once again, like I said, this button is very good. Has very little like hurt box. I don't think there is a hurt box on there when the move is actually out like that. Only during his whiff recovery. When his whiff recovery is done, is a large hurt box there. So best thing you want to try to do is either jump over this normal if you can, but be wary of 5k. So if they don't press that, they run up and they do this and then they 5k you, then you're going to be taking a lot of damage. So jump at your own risk, or try to actually stay out of the range of this like this and whiff punish it like that, which is a scenario I like to do with Millie a lot because I'm fast, so they try to press preemptive buttons, and then I like to whiff punish like that. So see what your character can do. See if you can actually punish that normal and actually get something meaningful. Some people unfortunately have to do like, you know, RC stuff, so they have to like try to hit a button and get like an RC pop up because they can't get anything from the normal they hit. Luckily, Amelia has sweep into this, so that actually helps me out in this matchup. But see what your character can do. Like I said, you can't 6p it because it actually does hit your knees. So once this button is out, there's no way for you to 6p it, unfortunately. So you have to keep that in mind. You could punish the recovery with 6p, but I wouldn't recommend it. So normally just try to make it whiff or try to jump over, but be wary of 5k. Anyway, that is it for today's video on why Sol is so strong and how to deal with his tools. There is no easy way to deal with everything he's doing, or no one true way. There's the reason why this character is so strong, because of his damage and because of how his tools work. He makes you play this RPS game, but these are some ways you can try to make the situations better for yourselves. Anyway, I hope this was helpful for you all. As always, if you like anything I had to say, drop me a like. I greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, follow me on my socials. Also, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you know the next video goes live. As always, my name is Dyken, and I'll see you next time. Signing out.